agreement with that. Since we're not giving the verbal reports at the meeting anymore, and we're going to try and get on page, we're working on it as a group. The only thing I'll say about that, once we get it into a format we like, maybe Ed, we can address the financial reporting also as a standard.
So that would help. That would apples and apples. You're going to do the same thing.
We're going to request the township to come up with a format for the report. Wasn't that what we agreed on?
Yeah, actually, we agreed to talk about getting a format.
Yeah, some format. They want to
whether it's theirs or yours.
Right. I mean, if you can give us bullet points on what you want an outline form, then we can.
For a monthly fire report, we would like the township to provide us with a format so that
what you want.
And we agreed that we would do it from the 15th of the month to the 15th of the month.
So you're getting the same information from all three departments.
The 15th of February. We need to know what you wanted out of that.
More important is the financial report. Standardized. No.
Well, that's, yeah, just
we do that one every year. We're all
do it in both
every year.
Yeah, right, for the allocations, for the fire tax.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know what you want to know from us.
But the only, and that's fine.
It's one every year.
Yeah.
Right, but I'm saying it'd be nice to have the same.
Yeah.
We get them, they're just somewhere handwritten, somewhere typed.
Which one?
Yeah, well,
Financial?
if you set up a format of what you want, thank you.
We're working on that, we're with you, but any input you can give will help us. We just want to, what do you call it, fine tune it, but if you can give us the rough copy.
DJ, make sure you have this done by tomorrow.
Yeah.
Since there's no longer a verbal report at the meetings, can the printed reports be published with the minutes?
Absolutely.
On the web.
Yeah.
So that the residents can see what I'm doing.
For some reason.
We keep talking about that. We need to bring it, we need to update our website so that all the reports are.
Can I bring up something about the website while you're there before I forget?
Yeah,
Can we add to our website, I can put my name on for all public meetings, because, you know, like, or you can have a pull-down menu. If you want to go to the road meetings, you want to go to anything like this on an off night, why can't we get a mailing list out to the township?
I would love that.
Mailing list
That you can sign up voluntarily if you want, like, any Wednesday night
We
meeting
need
here,
to make
like
that
road, or,
priority is
you know.
updating our website.
that way I'll get an email for every meeting, whether I want to go or not, and I'll just say, no.
That would be great.
And it's easy enough to put the reports on there.
Yeah.
We put on the agenda, so we can put on the reports as they can too.
Okay?
Actually, the best part of your reports at our public meeting, we were trying to shorten it a little bit, was the hours you put in, guys put in training, the hours you actually put in the actual response.
Sure.
And that's good to know, the public to know. I just don't like, you know, I mean, we have a police report, but Sean doesn't have to read 32 traffic stops, 16 resulted in this. That they can read that themselves. I don't like to read to people.
But if they don't get a copy of it, they can't read it.
They can't
Yeah,
read it.
Well, but if they don't pick it up, then that's another story. We have it.
Well, it would be nice if, well, a lot of
We don't need to
people,
read it, we just want them to have a website.
a lot of people don't come to the meetings, and they want to get a report if they have it on the website.
Well, that's a given now, we will have that done. But I'm saying, if you guys have something interesting about the departments, we'll always call you to tell us something that's good that's happening, or, it's just like I said, it just doesn't make any sense to read. I know Tony always did that, just reading, you know, there's many calls for
But if you have something
traffic.
specific.
I mean, it's really interesting. I definitely noticed. Our siren's been out for about a month. And I've had people call me up and say, why isn't the siren? Why isn't the siren? They're not complaining because they're complaining because the siren isn't blowing. And I had a lady call me and she wanted me to have different tones. If it's a wreck, to have one tone, and if it's a fire, to have another. And I said,
We had somebody from Christine Fields call the fire station and want to know how much they can pay to get our siren turned off.
you pay to get it turned off.
Yeah, so because it wakes your kids up at night.
I got people complaining because the siren was turned off.
See, that's the new and the old, then, right?
I got people complaining.
They want our siren turned off and it makes too much
You get it from both
noise.
sides too.
Yeah, well, a lady across the street. She complained about the light.
B, the fire departments are attempting to formulate emergency plans and policies in conjunction with Paul. Worst case scenario, possibly a train derailment with a lot of stuff that's going through this township.
So let me ask you, wait, can I interrupt you for 2 seconds? What would happen if that train were derailed by the intermediate school? Do I want to know the answer to that?
Well, it depends what's on it.
By what?
It depends what's on it.
You do not want to know the answer to that.
And that's one of the problems, because I've
That
already
makes my
had,
like heart sad.
I've already had a meeting with the Turnpike Commission.
What we got from the
One of
railroad
reasons
was-
I didn't
Wait.
It affects me directly in my end of it, but so I got to look at the whole part of it. Out of Rising Road, where the turnpike's gonna come through, they wanna bring, if you go out Rising underneath the underpass, okay, and once you go past those few houses, there's an area of woods on the right-hand side up there before you come to Tomahawk Plain Lane and the bridge right there. They wanna run an entrance exit on there to access the turnpike. Now, there's going to be another one on South Fayette side too there. My problem is there, you're going to dump all this traffic down, and now you're going to run it right underneath that trestle that we're just talking about. That's probably one of the worst trestles to go under. Either way you're going, you can't see the other side when you start into it. And I was complaining to them, that's one of the worst things. Now, the reason all that repair work's being done is because just a couple weekends ago, a garbage truck hit it. They hit it so hard, they busted the diaphragm in there and they bent one of the girders. That's why they're doing all this work. At the same time, it threw the rails off up top. And that's the biggest concern that I brought up to them. Not only did it close this intersection down, but the fact is that you had a chance for that derailment, which would be a big disaster.
That guy hadn't turned himself in.
Yeah, if he had
exactly.
And that can happen. And
That was one of the
That's
concerns,
right.
that we don't want the turnpike putting an exit down there that's gonna bring even more traffic there. I know a lot of these drivers just use GPSs, they don't pay attention to signs. I'm gonna go down this road, it's the quickest way the GPS takes me to it.
Well, we got a lot of modified trucks over in Lawrence here at the trestle that they follow the GPS and they keep driving. And they leave half the truck
So,
behind.
yeah, I have no problem when we get to meet with the turnpike, we'll bring in the fire
That would
department.
be really
We'll talk
on my
about this
backyard.
too, because you might see something I didn't either, that we could all address on it before it's
Is there
about
a
decided.
rules if there's a train derailment by
We're looking into it.
With the amount,
It's going to be a large project to try to handle that.
With the amount and the very chemicals they're hauling on that rail line, it could be anywhere. I mean, they're hauling in hydrous ammonia cars on that thing. I mean, that thing derailed in Cecil, it'd be, I don't even want to think about it.
Now, we went,
Like literally
But
makes me
it
sick.
seems
I mean,
to
you're
me
right.
that one of the things that might help and answer your question, Cindy, and for the others, is that you should contact Mark West and see what training they have for fire departments.
We already went to a Wheeling Lake Erie, basically a derailment training class was in the last spring. And they give us rail car numbers of how many cars, how much material they were hauling and what cars.
and they also explained, the rail cars are built a lot better than they were years in the past.
No, what, in
They're
the
a lot
event
thicker,
that
they're a lot more.
Yeah, but we've
Mark
seen-
West, I just took a training class at Mark West, and he does have they got a training, they got a lot of stuff involved with it already.
But if you
But
look,
they got to train all of you.
well, Willing, Lake Erie
Wait a
did,
minute.
oh, I'm sorry.
I have a call into Wheeling Lake Erie. Again, Ronnie stated we had a class on our station last year. It was just a, 4-hour class in the evening. A guy from Wheeling Lake Erie was there, and a guy from their hazmat cleanup team, or their cleanup company was there, explained different things to us. I have a call into him again. I'm gonna try to get another one scheduled, and I will get in contact with Mark West. And see if we can get something in conjunction, working together.
You need specialized equipment, specialized.
Yeah.
You can specialize.
Do you have, let me ask you this question, I don't think I would answer this one either. If right now we walk out of this building and there's a train derailment, even if there's no kids in that building, could you handle that kind of disaster?
Absolutely not.
No.
So how do
Region 13 could.
we, how do we get you the proper training, equipment, whatever that you
A
need?
lot of money.
No, to at least be able to do what you would need to do until somebody else could.
Open a draft so that we can draft all the community into the fire service.
Move to school.
There wouldn't be enough people to bang on doors.
There's actually
I mean,
special.
like, I'll be honest with you, I had a conversation with somebody from the school, and I asked them point blank, I said, there's a train that runs 75 feet behind, God knows what, behind you. What would you do if there was a catastrophic emergency? they could not, they told me point blank, they could not get the kids out of there fast enough.
You may not.
How is a parent, I mean, I
You may not want
have-
them out because of the location where you're gonna put them is gonna be downhill.
There's all kinds of
Shelter
things.
in
you gotta
place
look
may be the best.
But how is a parent,
Best location.
and maybe I'm sitting here because I have Vietnamese kids, but how as a parent do you send your child there every day?
Go to the.
You know what's inside of a UPS truck that goes up and down the road every day?
No.
You
Shoes,
should see what's in
come into
it.
my house, shoes,
You'd be
clothes.
surprised at stuff people are allowed to carry.
There's so much stuff you can put on there and not even listed if it meets a certain criteria.
I'm more, I get that though, but I'm like worried about specific.
Or any kind of.
I mean, if we had a chlorine release or I mean, even the sewage treatment facility, that's all, I don't think like
Well,
that.
I don't know what,
They have massive amounts of chlorine. I mean, think about evacuating East End Cannonsburg if the wind's blowing.
It's in gas form? It's in gas form?
Yes.
you should be able to call Mark West to find out how often the train travels on that track and what speed it's supposed to be going. They may have a reduced speed because they're going
now,
through.
that's why they're gonna put that rail in.
You know what I'm saying?
They're replacing
There
the
may
road
be,
now.
I know they've gone all through the old track that they had, and they put new track in, the straight track that doesn't have junctions or stuff in it. I know they've re-upped the rail beds and everything else, and they may have speed limits on certain areas where they have to go to a certain speed limit, where they, if it's in it, so that the derailment feature is not there.
We're gonna have to have the chief up there with the ringer.
Does that
no.
make you feel less?
In all
Does
fairness,
that make it safer, honestly?
in all fairness, let me answer this.
That's an honest.
In all fairness,
know.
Willie and Lake Erie took us up to the switching tracks in the middle of a snowstorm with 24 inches of snow last year, showed us where the rails were feeded, where they switch. That class was very good that Cecil Twp put on for us, but it was a week class in 4 hours?
Yeah.
So it didn't train us to be responders, it made us be aware of this.
It's an awareness.
But we want to improve upon that. One of the things with Paul we have to do,
Contract.
Yeah.
Pretty much said, if this happens, call.
Yes. So what do we do?
Our response will be done.
I'm gonna get my
Sandy,
story.
no, let me answer. What do we do with Paul? We need, as a fire department, we're probably gonna be evacuating people. We're gonna make, they call it a hot zone, a warm zone, and a cold zone. So based on Chemtrek, they might call and say, you might have to evacuate a half a mile, or it might be a mile. We have to have procedures in place where we can go knock on doors or set the sirens off, like at the fire department, to wake people up and have something in place. I mean, I don't know, I'm not answering that. I'm saying that's the kind of things we need to look at. Because if you look at the Charleston fire, the rail cars that went down, those were the new cars that were supposed to be beefed up, and they blew up like M40s, or whatever they used to be.
Help writing that, I'll help, because to me, that is a huge.
Oh, it
Oh,
is.
yeah, without a doubt.
One last thing I wanted to say about the special down there too, when you go and you talk to the guys that are actually working in the inspectors and stuff of the railroad, sometimes you learn stuff that scares you even more.
Oh, yeah.
Those girders in there were last replaced in 1932.
Oh my God.
So they're 83 years old, and I asked, why aren't they replacing the girders? Well, it only calls for repair now, it doesn't call for repair.
They're building better bridges over one toward trail than they are. And you're only walking over it.
But still in the 1930s.
Yeah.
Am I right?
No, it's not, it wasn't Chinese skill in the 1930s.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Well, you know, one time I was doing some work on a girder down at Iron Mills and that, and I looked up and I saw something lost on there. It said Carnegie Iron and Steel. So that shows you how good it was.